Welcome to our practice. As you can see, we've got the wall in usage today, as well as any other props that you might need. And let's start straight in Freshness and begin. Making a conscious effort to really exaggerate the movement of the front shoulders rolling back so that we can decrustify the closing that happens in the sternum plate in daily life. And then move also the elbows back. And then find the dorsal spine between the shoulder blades. And as the front shoulders and elbows are moving back, press the dorsal spine forward to fill the sternum plate from behind so that it expresses itself, it broadens, it brightens. Soft, smooth inhalations and exhalations. The hands lifting the palms, pressing firmly together. Keep lifting the sternum plate, keep pressing the dorsal spine forward, and gently lower the chin. The brain surrendering its energy to the heart. Opening our practice with one more. Inhale. And then the hands releasing, the chin gently lifting, the eyes opening. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels lifted and the backs of the heels pressing against the wall. Straightening the legs. Stretching the arms. Pushing yourselves away from the hands, so the weight moving back, the front thighs pressing back, and the heels consistently and firmly pressing against the wall. And then inhale, looking up, coming from here to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog. So with an exhale, and on this first one, the knees can rest on the ground. Just make sure the thighs are rolling in, the buttocks are pressing down, and through the pressure of the hands, you're lifting the pubic bone up, lengthening the front spine, so that the sternum plate stays lifted and bright. And then inhaling, and with an exhale, rolling back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. Firm the knees by pushing the shins back, by pushing the thighs back, by getting that solidness in the legs. And then inhale, looking up, preparing to come to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Roll the thighs in, press into the tops of the feet, and see if you can straighten the legs, lifting the knees off the ground. Press into the heels of your hands and pump yourselves taller and higher, front shoulders rolling back. And exhaling back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Heels lifted and pressing back against the wall. With an exhale, push the heels, push the shins back, push the front thighs back. And then inhale, looking up. Our third and final one, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Roll the thighs in, Press into the tops of the feet and the tops of all 10 toes and electrify the legs. Keep pressing the middle buttocks down to the ground and pump into your hands to make the front spine longer, lifting up. And exhaling back to Ardha Krishnamurti. And then looking up, walking the legs forward, exaggerating the bend of the knees as you do so. Feet the width of the mat, the heels slightly turned out. Hanging Uttanasana. Make sure the upper arms are as much as possible behind the ears. And keep pulling the elbows towards the ground. And then releasing the hands, bending the knees, and slowly, gently coming up and stepping the feet together. Tadasana. Now turn, so the right side of the body is facing the wall. Bring the right hand to the wall, fingers facing down. Stretch the left arm up and over to the wall, standing Parigasana. Move the bottom hand a little bit forward, move the top hand a little bit back, and try to get the bottom shoulder blade forward and the top shoulder blade back. And then push into the hands so that the left hip is moving away from the wall. And then back out and changing sides. From Tadasana, extending the arm to the wall, fingers down. Inhale the right arm up and like a windmill coming over. And now help the shoulder blades by moving the bottom hand forward and the top hand back. Push into the hands to move the right hip away from the wall. And keep trying to turn the chest open to the sky. And coming back out. And embracing. Uttita Trikonasana. Outside edge of the left foot against the wall, particularly the heel. A lot of people love to have the heel a little bit away from the wall, but it's actually the part that needs to be most against the wall. And then step your right leg forward and make sure to have some distance between the feet. This is your chance to take all the space that you can. Now look at this front knee. Naturally it turns inwards. So we need to grip it up and roll the thigh open as we're gripping it up so that the knee is facing forward. And then we need to keep it like that. Inhale, stretch the arms. Exhale, reach to the right. Keep that front knee gripped up, the thigh rolling to the right so the knee stays facing forward. Keep reaching to the right and then place the webbing of the hand where it lands on that front leg, the left arm to the sky. The moment the gripping of that front leg stops, re-lift the front kneecap and re-roll the front thigh to the right. And then inhaling up and releasing to change sides. Outside edge of the right foot against the wall, particularly the heel, which loves to come away. Taking space, and then look at the state of the front knee. Naturally it turns in, grip it up, and roll the thigh open so you can press the front buttock forward. And now the kneecap, the top and bottom kneecap, facing forward and staying gripped. Inhale, stretch the arms. And exhale, reach. Keep that grippiness in the front leg. the rollingness of the thigh, the grippingness of the leg, reaching, and then place the webbing of the hand where it lands, the top arm to the sky. Keep checking on the state of the front leg. When has it dropped and forgotten itself? Re-grip, re-roll it open. And then inhaling up. And exhale, releasing. Taking a bolster and coming back to the mat. Placing the bolster about here is going to be for our front thighs in chaturanga, and then coming to step forward, feet the width of the mat, turn the toes in, the heels out, stretch the arms up, change the cross of the arms from the last time, hanging Uttanasana. Looking at your kneecaps, make sure they're gripping up, that the quadricep is gripping up all the way into the hip sockets. And then the thighs are slightly rolling in towards each other, so the buttocks behind are widening. So gripping the knees and thighs up as you roll them in to widen the buttocks. And then placing the hands on the mat and walking the legs back, exaggerating like we're learning to crawl walk, and come to plank pose. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders, not smaller. Charge the legs, squeeze the inner knee, and lift the belly button up. Inhale and exhale. As you come down, squeeze the elbows in towards the ribs. Don't let them be wide, squeeze them in. Press into the heel of the hand. Now push out through the inner heels. So even though the bolster is there helping you, charge the legs. And back to Adho Mukha Svanasana with heels against the wall. And then forward again, preparing for plank pose. Widen the fingers, make yourself stable, activate the legs, inhale, and exhale, chaturanga, squeeze the elbows into the ribs, charge out through the legs, through the inner knees, through the inner heels, lift the front shoulders, and 3, and 2, and back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Push the heels back, lift the sit bones higher, stretch the arms. And third and final time, coming forward to plank pose. Inhale and exhale, chaturanga. Squeeze the ribs with the elbows. Charge the legs, make them strong. And 3, and 2, and 1. Back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Push the heels back. Push the front thighs back. Stretch your arms. And then inhale, looking up, walking the legs forward, exaggerated walking forward, really articulating from the knees. Spread the feet the width of the mat. And this time holding the backs of the heels, the backs of the calves. Uttanasana. Let the back of the neck be long. And then looking up, and coming back up, and sending the feet together. Tadasana. All right, the bolster, just moving it back a little bit. We want it arm's distance away from the wall, so arm's length, and sitting on the height of the bolster. The right knee is bent, the foot facing forward, and the left leg is extended. Look at your left kneecap. Make sure it's not rolling open. So you need to widen the buttocks so that the left thigh is coming from the left buttock, not joined to the right. And turn the thigh slightly so that the kneecap is facing the sky. Then press the heel down and pull the toes back. Push through the ball of the foot. Now this leg is firm and active. Hold on to this knee, turning to the right towards the bent leg, and find the wall behind you. If you're too close and you're feeling really jammed up, take the time to move your bolster away from the wall so there's spaciousness. Each exhale helping you to twist. And coming to the middle, changing sides. Left leg facing forward, right leg extending diagonally. Widen your buttocks apart so that each buttock belongs to each leg. They're not joined together. And check the knee. Often it does this and the foot opens. Roll the side slightly in, just enough so the kneecap can face the sky. Heels pressing down, pull the toes back and push through the ball of the foot. Keep this leg active and strong. Now take hold of the knee, turning to the left, and exhale. And coming back out through the middle and releasing. Moving this bolster out to the side and coming back to our mats. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels against the wall. Now step the right leg forward to a nice wide lunge and move the left leg all the way back so the foot is completely flush against the wall as much as possible. Roll the back thigh in so the kneecap is facing the ground. The fingertips are on the floor. Make them light and feel the balance come to your legs and lift the trunk up. Try to keep that nice deep bend in the front knee and push up through the back leg, squeeze the back of your knee. And then inhaling the arms up, palms pressing against each other, and one thumb crossed over the other. Now pull the arms to stretch the trunk out of the hips. That's right. And 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back down. Adho Mukha Svanasana, heels lifted and pressing back against the wall. And then looking up and stepping the left leg forward to a nice wide lunge. Move the right foot back until the sole of the foot is flush with the wall. Fingertips on the floor becoming light. So you're really in your legs now. And then lifting up, hands to the hips. Charge the back leg again. Lift the chest. Extend the arms. Inhale the arms up. Virabhadrasana. Keep pulling the arms up and back. And exhale, coming forward. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press the heels back. Press the shins back. Press the front thighs back. And then inhale, looking up. Walking the legs forward, exaggerate the walkiness. Turn the toes in, the heels out. Parangustasana. First 2 fingers holding the big toe. Inhale, look up, grip the legs. Sternum forward. And exhale, pulling yourselves into Parangustasana. And then looking up and coming back up. Tadasana. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. And releasing. Alright, grabbing the strap, we're going to lie down on our backs for a Parivrita Sutta Parangustasana. Making a loop in your strap that's going to be big enough for you to hold the actual loop as opposed to just the strap. So then it's a greater access into the hips from there. So from Supta Tadasana, check your feet, feet flush to the wall, sacrum moving towards the heels, shoulders back. And let's bend the right knee and place our loop over the arch of the foot, straighten the leg and hold the loop. If you can't hold it, make it bigger, and if it's too big for you and it's easy to hold, make it smaller. Now electrify your legs with intention. Wrap the muscles around the bones. Express through the feet. Extend the right arm to the side so it's in line with the shoulder. And let's begin. Draw the legs towards us and across. Towards us and across. See, I'm coming down in increments. Towards us and across. That right hip coming off the mat. If it doesn't come off the mat, you can't bring the leg across. So free it up, let it lift up. Keep your legs charged. And now let's add the twist to the pose. So we're twisting from the belly button to the right, following the energy of that right arm. But still pushing out the length of the legs out through the feet. So many beautiful openings happening here. Breathing in this space. And then the leg coming back up, releasing, and back to Supta Tadasana. And now the left side. Left leg up, loop on the arch of the foot, remembering that every side can be very different, so if you need to adjust the loop to accommodate this side, do that so that you can hold it. Now re-grip the legs, firmness right from the beginning. Extend the left arm, and let's begin our descent. Bring the leg towards us and across. Towards us and across. Allowing the hip to lift. And then beginning to twist from the belly button, the trunk twisting to the left, extending the energy down the length of that left arm. And then bring the leg back up and exhale, releasing briefly through Supta Tadasana. And then rolling over to the side and coming back up. All right, we're taking a blanket and a block now, coming forward, Upavishta Konasana. First things first, let's move the mat just a little bit away from the wall. And let's take our blanket and fold it either in half or trifold if you need a little bit of a higher height for the buttocks. Having the block. And come and take your Upavishta Konasana. So now with our hands, we're reaching and we are separating the buttocks apart by pulling them back and out, remembering that this frees the hips so that each leg finds its home hip, so to speak. And then from that action, we can then slightly roll the thighs in, very slightly, just enough so that the knees face the sky and the toes face the sky. So there's no rolling open action. Now grip the muscles around the legs and press the front thighs down. So we want this curve that we get when we have lots of muscle in the thighs. We want to grip and flatten that curve down. And if you put your fists here and press down, then you'll see how you can stretch your trunk up, stretch the waist, and lift and open the chest. So you're getting length in the front spine. Okay, the block is here for our pubic bones, because when we come forward, most people drop their pubic bone down. And we don't want that to happen, because the pubic bone going back is what keeps the lower back supported in our Yoga Mudra. So pubic bone here to remind us. If you have a small one, you can also put it like this, depends on the size of your block. So pubic bone perpendicular, really thinking about that, front thighs pressing down, knees to the sky, and we're coming forward. And the block will be there to help hold the pubic bone in position, as well as your inner feeling, your inner alignments, engagements. Keep the legs firm, as if you're in a standing pose, the muscles gripping, the front thighs pressing down. And now for a second, I want you to drop the pubic bone. And see how the organs drop when you do that. Now, to lift the pubic bone, tighten the pelvic floor up, in and up. And see how the pubic bone lifts, and then drop it again. And then again, retighten the pelvic floor in and up, feel the pubic bone lift, and feel a whole new organic aliveness, so that as you come into the final version of your Yoga Mudrasana, your organs are not dropping, which completely changes the pose. Hands then coming back up. Make a little fist with your hands, press those front thighs down again, lift the chest, re-lift the pelvic floor, the pubic bone, lift it to the belly button, to the solar plexus, to the sternum. Feel that opening. And exhale, and releasing. You can keep this blanket, actually, you may wish to use a bolster. We're going to do Ardha Virasana. So I remind you, just put the balls on the blanket where I would put it. Virasana is this pose. Just one leg at a time, this knee bent. So if you think you might need a bolster underneath the spine because the feet, the ankles, the knees are tight, then go ahead and hip pause on me and put that into position. And if not, then I want you to have your tri-folded blanket back there for the arms. So whether you have a bolster behind you or not, let's come in by lifting the buttocks, tilting the pelvis, so the buttocks move towards the front of the mat, and laying back down. Always the buttocks moving towards the front of the mat to remove overarching tendencies from the lower back. So it's essential to move the buttocks forward so that the lumbar won't overarch. If you're on a bolster, you bring your hands behind you, holding the elbows, and if you're lying down, you're stretching the arms up, crossing the thumbs, and stretching the arms back. Make sure your arms are really active. Squeeze the elbows. And then bring the arms back up. And coming out, slowly, step by step. And remembering to give the front foot a nice little stretch before we exit. So press down into the front foot. And then extend. And release. Right, setting up for the left-hand side. Making space with the calf, pulling the calf back and out, pulling the foot right in as close as possible to the outer hip, so you're really on the front of the foot. And then we're lying down, constantly tilting the pelvis on our way down to move the buttocks forward. And then being on our bolster or the mat. If you're on the bolster, you're changing the cross of your arms, bringing your hands behind. And if you're on the floor, you're changing the cross of the thumbs and stretching the arms back. And the support of the blanket helps us to really have absolute firmness in the elbows. Now make the right arm longer, stretch it back and feel how that stretches the right waist. And now make the left arm longer, pull it back and see how that stretches the left waist. And then lifting the arms back up, releasing. We're on our way out with our delightful front foot stretch. So coming up, lifting the hips and stretching into the front foot, pressing down there. And then releasing. And time for a little Shirshasana, a very light one. The messy edge, the fringe edge of the blanket wants to be closest to the wall so it's not in your face. And also so that your elbows have a clean demarcation so that you, as you gain awareness in your Shirshasana, you'll be noticing what the elbows and shoulders are doing, and having a clean line here really helps that. So once that's set up, let's stretch the arms forward so they're parallel. Turn the palms to the sky. Bring the arms to the shoulders. And look at your elbows. If they're doing this, bring them in. Because by the time you get down, they will have widened a little bit more. We don't want them to be too wide. So start off with them parallel. And now place the elbows right on the edge of your blanket. The clean edge. And then bring the forearms down, interlock your fingers, and press the thumbs together. Really important, there's like a Tadasana action here in the thumbs. Now go ahead and bring your crown of the head to the floor, which is often further back than we think. People love to be on their forehead. You need to really tuck the head and be on the crown of the head. The hands are holding the back of the skull, the thumbs pressing against each other. Make sure your elbows haven't significantly widened. Then press the forearms down, lift the shoulders, and feel strength coming to the arms and the back. Once you've engaged that strength, turn the toes under and straighten the legs. Walking the feet in. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up. And now lifting one leg, lifting the other, and finding the wall. Once you've found the wall, really make sure to line your inner feet up with each other so that the feet are in line and the legs and the hips have more chance of being in line. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up. Over and over again, we need to remind the pressing downwards of the forearms to lift the shoulders up, to start gaining that strength and that state of awakeness in the upper back. Relax the face from tension, don't push the eyeballs out. Make sure the legs are firm and gripped. Just a few more seconds. Keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up. And now begin to come down, lowering one leg and then lowering the other. Feet to the mat, then the knees back to the mat. Sit back on the heels. Now just look at your hands and remember which little pinky is underneath. And once you've looked at them, release the hands, have them by the side of the body, forehead on the blanket, and just breathing here. Deep inhalation. Deep exhalation. Now bring the hands behind the back and just cross your thumbs together. Just the thumbs, stretch the fingers, and lift the arms up to the sky. And try to roll the front shoulders open away from the floor. And then bring the arms down halfway and change the cross of your thumbs. Re-stretch the fingers, forehead to the blanket, and lift the arms up. Rolling the front shoulders back, stretching the arms up, stretching up through the fingertips, breathing here. And then lowering the arms back down to the mat, and with an exhale, relax completely. And now rolling back up. Time to do the second part of our Shirshasana, changing the interlock of the fingers. So stretch the arms parallel, palms up to the sky, and to the shoulders, look at your elbows. Now bring the elbows down without letting them widen, right to the edge of the blanket. And then lay the forearm down and change the interlock so the other little pinky is underneath and press the thumbs together. So obviously, if you're used to doing Shirshasana always on one interlock, you're going to feel a little bit more unstable on this interlock, but ultimately, it's going to create more evenness and more stability. So now let's bring the crown of the head to the blanket, the chin towards the throat, and the hands holding the back of the skull, the thumbs pressing against each other. Broaden the shoulders, lift the shoulders. Now turn the toes under, straighten the legs. Keep the arms strong. As you walk the feet in, keep pressing the forearms down, lifting the shoulders up, feeling the upper back working. And now lifting a leg to the wall, and then the other leg lifting. Keep the action of the arms. Don't let all the weight come onto the head. Keep pressing down into the forearms and lifting the shoulders up. Lining the feet up. And charge your legs as if your feet are trying to reach the sky. The soles of the feet reaching up to the sky. And even though we're upside down and the legs aren't standing, the muscles are still gripping around the leg bones so that they can reach up further to the sky and reduce tension from the neck. Now again, press the forearms down, lift the shoulders up, feel the upper back working, the shoulder blades working. And preparing to come down, lowering one leg with control, keep lifting the shoulders up, and then lowering the other, coming down, and stretching the arms straight in front, forehead down, Yoga Mudrasana, Vajrasana. Palms facing each other, broaden the right shoulders to the right, the left to the left, firm the elbows. And then looking up, and coming out. Alright, it's time for a little Sarvangasana. So we need 3 blankets, we have our wall, and a strap. Getting together that stuff and leaning back here. Ready for our light Sarvangasana, this central opening of the shoulders and the upper back. There's nothing that can open that area like Sarvangasana, so we have to do it. So we have 3 blankets, and we're paying attention to the neat edges and the fringe edges. The neat edges are facing the wall, and the distance is such so that when we lie down and bring our legs over, your feet will be able, if you want to press them into the wall. So you just want to measure that out first to be sure you're not too far away. Then the strap, we want to make a loop in our strap. This is the shoulder torture. From one armpit to the other. If you have very tight shoulders, you're going to want to make a bit of a bigger loop so that it's comfortable. And last little touch, since I'm here and thinking about it, if you know that it's hard for you to bring your legs over into Halathan, you may wish to grab that bolster that we were using and have it right here for your hips. So your hips will be already a little bit lifted and will just help you to go over. So we are first of all going to put the straps on our arms. So the arms are going to go back, and we're threading the arms through so that the strap is just above the elbows. And you can see, you can sit here and roll the shoulders back. You see how it's going to help us to keep the shoulders open. And then we're lying down so that our shoulders are not going over the edge of our blankets. I see that a lot, and then when you come up, it's all messy and your neck is getting scrunched. You have to leave enough space here to know that as the legs come over, you're going to move a little closer to the edge. So making sure there's about 3 to 4 fingers of space between your edges. So your arms are back, strapped in, and we're now bringing the legs up and over. And the wall is there if you want it, or you can bring your feet to the floor. And now we're going to interlock our fingers behind the back, press the thumbs together and stretch the arms straight. And then move your weight to the left shoulder, lifting the right shoulder up and roll it open, and then do the same on the other side a few times so that your arms, your shoulders are open to their maximum. And then bend the elbows, release the hands, and put the hands on the back. Halasana with the feet supported on the wall. If you can bring your feet a little bit lower, do so. And keep trying to lower your hands down the back. So they're going closer and closer to the shoulder blades. And the hands are not just sort of hanging out there. They're purposeful. They want to press the back ribs in and up. Breathing. Now we're going to lift the legs up to Sarvangasana, so one leg at a time, the legs straight. And now you can really feel how important the hands are, how important it was to have the shoulders rolled open. Look at your feet, line them up, and don't point your toes, but pull the toes back towards you and push up through the balls of the feet. Now look at your thigh muscles, are they just hanging off the bone? Could you grip them and wrap them around the bones so the feet are reaching for the ceiling? And feel the lift that that brings. So again, the legs are so important in our inversions to release gravity from the neck and the head. You really want to be charging up the whole time. Now we're coming to Ekapada. Keep the left leg fixed where it is. And slowly, straight legs, lower the right leg, the foot to the wall.
Don't let your left leg come forward. Push the front thigh of the left leg back. And then back up to Savanyasana, holding it here, breathing. And now keep the right leg fixed where it is and lower the left leg and have the foot find the wall. Eka Bala Savanyasana on the left hand side. And back up to Savanyasana. We're almost finished. Give it your last burst of energy. Charge the legs up. Keep rolling the shoulders back, pressing the elbows down, pressing the back ribs up. And now lower both of the legs down, finding the wall. Stretch the arms straight behind you. Change the interlock and re-roll each of your shoulders back. Then press the arms down and press the back ribs up. And now preparing to come out. So release the interlock of your fingers and slowly push away from the wall, unrolling. If you have a bolster, it's there to help you. And rolling back up, taking the strap off the arms. We're always so happy to do that. And moving this stuff just quickly out to the side. Jatara Bhagavatarasa. Arms extended, knees bent, feet aligned, knees close to the chest. Inhale and exhale the knees to the left elbow. So really try to bring them as high as you can. And then turn and twist the trunk to the right. And then bring the knees back up, re-stretch the arms. Inhale, knees close to the chest, and exhale the knees to the right elbow, and then turn and twist to the left. And then coming back up and feet to the mat. Rolling over and preparing for our supine restoration. So one blanket folded in half for the neck and head. One bolster at this end of our blankets, our mats. Everything else out of the way. Supta Sukhasana. So coming in nice and close and crossing the ankles and resting them on the bolster. Now you can always take the other blankets to pad out areas of the feet that are sore or support knees, everything so that you can be really comfortable. As we come down, of course, we're tilting the pelvis to ensure that the buttocks move towards the bolster and the lower back is flush to the mat. And then bringing this blanket in underneath our necks and our heads. If you feel that your chin is going back because you have a tight neck, then you could double this blanket up. You want to have a nice Long neck, no tension with the chin going back and the brain tighten. The forehead flat. And then extend the arms diagonally out to the side and roll each shoulder back. So you have to lift the shoulder blade up, roll the front shoulder back and press the shoulder blade up. And that's an energetic transformation to the shoulder and the breast and chest area when you do that. And then when everything feels just right, allowing the eyelids to close. And with an exhalation, surrendering to Shavasana. And now keeping the eyes closed, keeping that softness, we're just going to change the cross of our ankles and resettle the legs onto the bolsters. Releasing into Shavasana. And now, still keeping the eyes closed, we're just uncrossing the legs and resting the backs of the knees, the backs of the thighs on the bolster. Feet rolling open. And resettling for a last few precious minutes in Shavasana.
Now lifting the hands and resting them on the lower abdomen. And then rolling over to the right hand side, supporting the outer right skull with your right hand, taking the fetal position. And then emerging even more, pushing ourselves back up and taking a final seat on your bolster or your blanket. Sukhasana. Pressing the palms together. This final sacred gesture of thanks and humbleness. And ending by extending our love out to the universe. Loka samastaha sukhinho bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And the hands coming back down, the eyes opening back up. And welcome back. Our practice is complete. Hope you enjoyed it and that you'll let me know how it worked for you, what you got from it, what you'd like to know more of, and have a lovely day. Namaste. Keep up the great work.